Good evening, everyone. It's David Schlotthauer here in the home weather office with a very detailed hurricane outlook and discussion for June the 10th on this fantastic Saturday, 2023. In this update, we are going to be looking at the tropics because we do have an area that we could be watching in the next 3 to 6 days that could be developing in the southern Caribbean basin. And we'll be also looking at some very warm sea surface temperatures and what that means for the rest of the Atlantic hurricane season. So with that being said, let's dive straight into the video because we have a lot to talk about. So here's a look at the latest GOES 16 True Color satellite imagery provided by tropicaltidbits.com or Levi Cowan that makes these images possible for the public to see on his website. So thank you, Dr. Levi, for providing these awesome images for us. So I want to kind of point something out in this imagery. Now, there's not a lot going on at all other than just maybe a couple of tropical-like thunderstorms across portions there of, say, the Yucatan Peninsula, portions there of Cuba, and there's just a weak high out here. But what you don't see here, if we kind of go back here in time, yeah, you know what that is right here? That's actually the sun. Yeah, it's the sun is reflecting very intensely off the Atlantic basin. And you're probably wondering, why is it reflecting so much better there than, say, the rest of the basin where it's just kind of this kind of very smooth kind of glow or ghostly looking smidge on the imagery? Well, the reason why is the trade winds are weak. Yeah, the trade winds are not blowing out here at all. In fact, you can't find any trade winds here at all. Winds are 0 miles an hour, maybe a couple of miles an hour, but light enough to give a pretty good glimmering reflection of the sun in the far western longitude or the western hemisphere right off the coast of Africa. And this means, again, trade winds are weak, not only there, but they are very weak across the Atlantic here, less than 5 miles an hour. And that's a problem. And the reason why that's going to be a problem is this allows the waters to warm up much quicker than they should be. Okay, so we're just even further ahead of normal than what we should be for this time of the year. And we will be looking at sea surface temperatures for the second half of this video because they are absolutely alarming. And there is scientific data to back that up. And so we can see here definitely some very light trade winds. Nothing in the tropics, no organized areas to watch now or in the next 7 days. But again, those weak trade winds mean the waters are warming up much quicker, faster. It's basically giving us a big super boost of the Atlantic hurricane season ahead. So now, over the last 7 days, when we take a look at the National Hurricane Center, the next 7 days. Did I say last 7 days? Sorry, my mind is all over the place today, folks. I'm so sorry. Had a very long, hard-working day. But otherwise, you can see here the 7-day forecast, nothing. There is nothing in the Atlantic at all. Big X, okay? No, there's nothing, right? But what we're watching is over here, okay? Over the central, southwestern, even the deep south there of the Caribbean. Something might be brewing maybe within the next 8-ish days. I'm seeing something on the GFS model, and that's where we start. So when we take a look here at the GFS model, making sure you all were able to see that. Yep, there it is. Again, you can see clearly that the GFS model does have an area to watch there. Okay, so you can see it right in here, a little bit of a monsoon gyre going on there for Saturday morning. Not today's Saturday, but the next Saturday coming up here for June the 17th. That's where we're going to start really eyeballing something down here in the deep tropics. Now, there have been some other YouTubers that are calling this. We're going to have a major hurricane. A Category 3 hurricane is headed for the Gulf Coast of the U.S. I would not trust those YouTubers just yet. I'm not saying don't watch them, right? But what I'm telling you folks is there's a lot of uncertainty here. I mean, you don't know how uncertain the forecast actually is until I actually show you all. So let's just kind of go right through this and we can see There is our area to watch right here on the GFS model. I know I'm going a little beyond 7 days and I shouldn't be doing this for you all, but there has been so much consistency among the GFS operational model. And you guys are probably saying, why are you using the GFS model all the time? Why are you just using it and you're not using the European model? Well, I'm going to favor one model over the other based on consistency. And we'll probably even be looking at the European model here in just a second. But you can see there is a system developing by day 10. That's where it is, okay? Approaching Western Cuba. Now, of course, other YouTubers are going to call this, oh my gosh, that's a Category 3 hurricane hitting Western Cuba. It's likely to happen. Just be careful, folks. Just be careful of what information you get from other YouTubers out there, okay? I'm not trying to be mean here. I'm not trying to be one of those idiots that wants to, like, to be rude to other YouTubers, but again, a lot of uncertainty here. A lot of uncertainty, okay? And you'll see that here in just a second. So let's go forward, okay? Yeah, I mean, 270 hours out, that's where it is. You can see it here, 288 hours out, approaching the eastern seaboard. That's very far out. I mean, that is a couple of days after summer. And this is what the model shows. And it hits basically New Jersey by 300 hours or by June the 23rd. That's a very long time out. In fact, if we pop up my calendar, that is 2 weeks away. Yeah, that's about 2 weeks away. So you can't rely on a forecast that is 2 weeks out, right? Now, showing you all just how uncertain. Okay, I'm going to plot this out for you all so you all kind of get an idea just how uncertain the model actually is, right? So I'm going to plot, I'm going to put good old black dots here. So this is the latest model run, okay? We're going to go to the previous run, okay? This is from this morning. That's 12Z. So make sure you pay attention up here. 12Z run. This is the 06Z run. And we can see where it's at here. Okay. And then we can see this is 0Z run from yesterday. And then we can see this is 18Z from yesterday. It's all over the place. I mean, you can clearly see there is no consistency at all. I mean, it's over here, a couple of runs, and then it just goes all the way back over here. And I mean, you can just like follow me here. I mean, just keep on following me and you can get an idea why the forecast is so uncertain. Because, I mean, you're talking about a model trying to kind of forecast a needle in a haystack. Model not going to see that very easy, folks, okay? I mean, yes, the model does not have actual eyes, but it can actually see things based on satellite data. And if something's off by just a little bit, it kind of throws the forecast backwards by a lot. And you can see here, if we plot this all down, it's all over the place. I mean, this is incredible, just showing you just where the last several runs have been. I don't want to bore you all. I'm not trying to just make you guys bored here, but it's real facts about these systems, and this is just all over the place. I mean, you can't make a forecast until we get more accurate, concrete data based on where these systems are going to be. So I'm going all the way back to 384 hours out for you all, which is this next run. Okay. That's June 21st. And you can see, look at all the dots on your screen. You know what those dots are? That's the point of origin at the given time that you see here. Okay, so we just went through over 18 model runs of data, and we can see just how uncertain this forecast actually is. Okay. And that is looking at 270 hours out, okay? Maybe there's a little bit more consistency when we go out to here, but it's all about how this all evolves, right? So we can see here, if we go back, if it's just different by a little bit, it's going to affect the forecast, right? The initial conditions based on the X amount of hours that you're talking about. So there's a lot of uncertainty here, but we know it's there. And what's there is a consistency that we know it's going to be somewhere over here, so we can make a forecast. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to develop exactly, because if we look at our ensembles, this is a huge model spread, 10 days out, and you're talking some systems, some of the members that indicate the system here, or over here. There's a lot of uncertainty, folks. There's a 1% chance this actually happens. So I hope that cleared out a lot. Man, I've been talking about that for like the last 6 or 7 minutes. Sorry, folks. But I want to make sure you guys understand here. Okay, because I'm trying to provide real facts here about weather model data. Because we do got to be careful. Okay, and that could be a major hurricane if that comes true. So this is the 500 millibar height map, and the reason why this is uncertain is because there's just a lot of traffic here. We got a low pressure up here to the north. We got a ridge over here. We got another ridge over here over Texas. And yeah, things evolve differently with each model run. If we look at the last run, where's this trough at to the north? This ridge is stronger. Well, this ridge is a little weaker. What does that mean? The system's going to turn this way. And you can just see how funny this, actually, no, wait, yeah, this is the 12Z we're going to look at, and just look how that turns and heads right towards central Mexico. Yeah, do you follow me on that? And then let's look at the 18Z run. Look at this. I mean, that is a whole different scenario there. I mean, we just looked at, I mean, I can't explain. I'm speechless. It is just all over the place, and that's why we gotta be careful with what we wish for, right? Do you follow me? Do you follow me? Okay, so let's take a look here at the European model plus UK Met. Super Blend. This is from Ben Knoll at Twitter. He's really great. He does the best job at providing us an insight of the rest of the Atlantic hurricane season. Not just what we might be seeing in the next 10 days, like you see here, but what might be coming beyond the next 7 or 8 days, right? So this goes all the way through September and November, and we can see above average precipitation anomalies. Well, I know you guys are like, okay, it's wetter than normal, heck with it. Okay, it's just going to be a lot more rainfall than usual. But what you don't understand here, this could mean more tropical-like systems, more tropical waves that are seedlings for named storms. So what we're looking at here is the potential of a very, very busy Atlantic hurricane season. There's science to back that up too, not just by looking at the precipitation anomalies, but by other factors too. Very, very wet Eastern Pacific, all thanks to El Nino. Very dry central Venezuela region of Central America because of the shear, lesser tropical waves in that area. They get torn up because you get these a lot of westerly shear due to all the convection that happens over the Eastern Pacific. But it's not just precipitation that makes this season potentially a very busy one. It is also the sea surface temperature configuration. It's not just El Nino, you all, that we're talking about. We're also talking about a very, very warm, near historic warming of the Iberian Peninsula. The Canary Current is in full swing, really keeping things warm, along to go with the weaker trade winds than normal, really, really enticing these warm temperatures in the main development region, including in low and mid latitudes. All right, we'll look at this a little bit closer in the next few slides, but my gosh, this is very, very warm. I mean, you guys are like, whoa, David's hyping up here. Here comes David hyping up. I'm going to hype up when we see sea surface temperatures here at 3.5 Celsius above average. That's the long-term average, folks. This is basically looking back the top departure from normal. So back to like 1981 to 2010 type deal here. This is alarming. This is concerning. And this sea surface temperature configuration here with the very warm Canary Iberian Peninsula has been notorious for very busy Atlantic hurricane season. okay, or seasons, I should say. Very warm in the deep tropics here of the Caribbean, 1 to 2 Celsius above normal, but boy, this MDR region here is very warm, anywhere above 2.5 Celsius, with this island here running well over 3 Celsius above normal. This is competing with our El Nino that has been declared by the Climate Prediction Center. An El Nino advisory has been issued. We'll talk more about that in our Monday's update on El Nino. But very warm also over here, running 3 to 4, even, yeah, that's 5 Celsius right there, right off the coast of Peru. So a very strong El Nino versus, yeah, I should put the letters VS, versus a very warm plus AMO. That's what we're looking at, right? So who's going to win and who's going to produce a very busy Atlantic hurricane season? We shall see. So when we look at our sea surface temperature anomaly, or not our anomalies, but our actual sea surface temperatures, yeah, this is something else. Okay, really, really warm. I mean, I can tell you already, the 26-degree isotherm. Okay, let's kind of paint this out really well right there, the black line. Well, you know, that's very far north, right? That 26 isotherm line, that's 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Know where that should be for this time of the year? It should be all the way down here. Should be way farther. Actually, you know what? No, it should even be right over here somewhere. Yeah, it should be like something like that. So very, very warm. I mean, it doesn't seem like it, but it's going to matter a lot by the time we go into August, by the time we go into September. Yeah, the peak of the hurricane season. This here will matter a big lot because there will be more warming that does occur here in the Atlantic. And it's just about how warm can you go from here? Or if we stay 3 or 4 Celsius above normal, that could mean trouble ahead for sure, without a doubt. And it could extend our very busy Atlantic hurricane season, perhaps even into mid to late November. Who knows? Maybe even early December. We could have a very busy season on our hands here between July, August, and September, and even into October. Yeah, we don't want that, but unfortunately, sea surface temperatures are not obeying, and they are making the public quite concerned. So now looking at the entire North Atlantic here, remember this image right here? This doesn't capture the entire Atlantic. So that's why I decided that let's take a look now at this. That's a very, very, very warm AMO, which stands for Atlantic Marcadial Oscillation, something, or multi-decadial oscillation, something like that. A very warm horseshoe look to this, all the way from, say, the Caribbean, all the way into the central Atlantic, into the main development region, all the way up here into the high latitudes. Yeah, this is some very cold water here, anywhere between 1 to 3 Celsius below average. Yeah, that is really, really, that's very concerning. Very clear indication here that based on past analogs with this very warm AMO, the Iberian Canary Current usually facilitates very busy seasons regardless of El Nino. If this was a La Nina developing, okay, if this was a lot of cold water all throughout in here, let me draw it up in blue. So if this was all a La Nina, we would see a hyperactive season probably. We literally would because of the warm AMO that we have. But might not happen now because we have El Nino. It's like El Nino versus the AMO. Who's going to win? Will El Nino define humanity, define gravity here, and just block the Atlantic hurricane season out for the rest of the season, and all we're left with is untapped high upper ocean heat content? Still to be announced. We have not seen anything like this, a El Nino versus a warm AMO in the Atlantic. So now, another thing that I want to show you all is upper ocean heat content, okay? I'm showing you 2020, just be aware of that. But what I'm about to show you 3 years later into this day will really stun you all to your feet. All right, so before we look at the next PowerPoint slide here, let's kind of outline where the upper ocean heat content actually is right now, so we can kind of get a pretty good idea with what we will be looking at here in 2023, which is now, of course. And so let's see the results. Are you all ready? Yeah, definitely, definitely higher. Okay, especially over here, definitely higher upper ocean heat content. Oh, let me draw that in red. Why did that come out black? Who knows what? So here it is, much higher upper ocean heat content in this portion of the Atlantic. Not only that, but look at this right here. Yeah, that is warmer water, not only at the surface, but at deep. Okay, it's pretty deep, and that's why we got upper ocean heat content here. Why does this matter, you might ask? Because it's not just the skin of the ocean, folks, that we're dealing with this. It's actually deep, deep enough to not be able to mix at, not to upwell. If we do get trade winds in the future that kind of try to upwell this, eventually might happen, but not anytime soon. So when we compare this, I want you all to kind of look at this. This is 2023, 2020, 2023, 2020, 2023. Follow me? See the difference? Look at just how much higher the upper ocean heat content is throughout, and only that, look how far north it goes. Remember what 2020 brought, folks, okay? Remember how active that season was? Remember, okay? There are over 30 named storms. And look at how high it was then on this day 3 years ago. We're higher now. What does that mean? Could mean a very busy season. I'm not saying there will be 30 named storms or 35 named storms, but I guarantee now it's going to be more busier than usual. Okay, that we're leaning in that direction. I don't think we're going to have 10 named storms or 11 named storms. I think we're going to have something much higher than that. Anywhere between maybe 14, maybe roughly about 14 to 18 named storms is what I'm going with my forecast, because yeah, that AMO is quite concerning. It is frightening to look at, and that might just turn things in a whole different direction than what I thought a month and a half ago when I made my first initial Atlantic hurricane season forecast. So how deep does the 80-degree Fahrenheit isotherm go down to? How far below the surface of the ocean? I'm not going to do the conversion between meters and feet. All you need to know is if there's yellow and red here, that is very deep, okay? That 80 degrees Fahrenheit is what you need, or 26 Celsius, what you need to get tropical storms or hurricanes to develop in the Atlantic basin, right? To trigger these tropical waves to become disturbances. That's kind of that battle zone, right? Anything warmer than 80 degrees or anything warmer than 26 Celsius is very favorable. So what I'm telling you here is this is a very deep waters. That 80-degree isotherm goes well down there, probably down to 400, 500, even 700 feet deep. That is very concerning because it's not going to just take one or two Category 5 hurricanes. It's going to take more to upwell and mix that ocean up, to upwell the cooler water beneath it, right? So this is, I wouldn't say concerning, but it is highly unusual. And we are, some folks down here in the Leeward and Windward Islands are saying that sea surface temperatures are so warm right now, these typically are found in mid to late September. 3 months in the future, I guess, right? So, long story short, I'm very confident now. I'm beginning my confidence level here that we are probably going to have a busy season. It might not come right now. It might wait until July. Remember, the peak of the season is not until September the 10th and the 11th. So we have a long ways. We have 3 months before the peak of the season, and a lot can change between now and then, right? So we have a long way to go. We have until, well, who knows, until late November, early December to get named storms out here in the deep tropics. All right, well, everybody, even so this was a very lengthy discussion exactly of what might happen in the next 5 to 7 days. Again, regarding that system, like I told you all, that might develop. Notice how I'm not saying it will develop. right? Because we're not sure yet. Even so, the GFS is showing this. I did want to show you all the European model before I forget. Where is it? Where is it? Isn't that funny? The European model ain't showing it. The Canadian model ain't showing it. The GFS is. This could be a fantasy storm. So that's why there's a lot of uncertainty as far as this goes. Again, 1% chance, folks, of this developing. Even so, other YouTubers are saying it will develop into a Category 3 hurricane. I would really be careful who you watch. That's all I have to say. Well, anyways, that's going to do it with this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure you subscribe, share this video with your family and friends, because I'm sure I helped you out a lot in this video. And also, leave an awesome comment in the section below this video. As always, I am David Schlotthauer. Have a fantastic rest of your Saturday, and I'll be back with you more tomorrow with more weather content.